My name is Amondi Kenneth. I do appear for Mr. Professor Wajakoya, that is a presidential aspirant in the contested presidential election, together with my...
Council, can you please take your seat? Can we read the directions first? With the issue, because Professor Wajakoya is not a petitioner, he's not a party. Can you kindly take your seat?
Most obliged.
Thank you, Judge President. These are the further directions of the court. In the course of issuing directions this morning, the 30th August 2022, on the hearing of the 2022 presidential election petitions, Council appearing for various parties made certain applications necessitating these further directions. Number one, request for additional time. The request for additional time by Council for the first, second, and the 9th respondents of above the time allocated and issued earlier this morning is hereby declined. Direction number 2, representation of the IEBC. After the various petitions were filed and served on the IEBC, and the chairman of the IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, appointed counsel to represent him. The law firms went on record and filed their responses respectively. At the same time, the 4 commissioners, namely Juliana Sherere, Vice Chairperson, Francis Wandera, Justus Nyangaya, and Irene Masit, were named as respondents in various petitions individually, and they retained their respective counsel, and they filed. On the 27th of August 2022, the firm of Issa and Company Advocates lodged a notice of appointment of advocates that is dated the 26th August 2022, purporting to act for the IEBC. At the pre-trial conference this morning, the issue of the legal representation arose. The IEBC, through the firm of Iseme Maema and Kamau Advocates, filed an application on the 29th of August 2022, seeking to strike out the notice of appointment and all pleadings by Issa and Company Advocates. The motion was supported by an affidavit filed and deponed to by Marjan Hussein Marjan, the Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the IEBC. We have now been called upon to give directions and to resolve the question of legal representation of the IEBC. We have considered the pleadings, the record, and the brief statements by counsel. It's our considered view that this court cannot deal with the issue or any dispute as to the legal representation of the IEBC as an institution in these petitions. It is not the business of the court to determine who represents the IEBC in whichever formation. There is an internal issue which must be resolved by the IEBC, its commissioners, and other internal organs. This court will not be drawn to this dispute in these circumstances. As a result, the application to strike out the notice of appointment and pleadings ignore what I've just read. We've